Welcome to the Inner Space podcast. Take a deep breath in and let go. Let's take a pause in time together right here and now. I'm Ag, and it's an honor to share this moment with you. The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus is known to have famously declared that all things are in motion, like a stream. His philosophy has been summarized in the phrase, "All things come into being by conflict of opposites, and the sum of all things, the whole, flows like a stream." When I think of movement, I imagine a river, waves, the change of seasons, the growth of a seed, the growth of a child, the aging of a person, the withering of a leaf, the dance of my shadow on the wall, people dancing happily to music any way they want, babies dancing to any and all sorts of beats spontaneously, and my lungs breathing in and out, in and out. My own mind and how much it has changed from childhood, adolescence, young adulthood, and now. Movement is in everything, always happening, never ending. We know stillness because we've known movement, and vice versa. With movement, there's constant change. And thanks to change, we recognize the unchanging. Movement is a constant, and it's cosmic. It's still a mystery to us. Movement is, isn't it? My best friend has been a ballet dancer from the age of 5, and I've seen her hear a few seconds of classical music and immediately understand its cadence, accents, and how to fit ballet movements in the music's tempo effortlessly. As if she had studied classical music. She hasn't. She knows music by virtue of her own body movement. My father, on the other hand, is a music composer. I've watched him create melody, harmonies for movies, for orchestras, and different music styles, with an understanding of rhythm, time, the use of silence, the layers, the instrumental layers a song has, all sorts of arrangements and remixes. Effortlessly, he knows the movement of sound. As a theater performer, I know movement as a conversation and collaboration between words, emotion, and gesture, as storytelling, as psychology manifested, as impulse, be it released, concealed, or held charging and waiting. I know movement tells stories and takes you from beginning to end. I know it renews again and again and could keep on going in between silence and pauses. I know that the pause even becomes part of the overall movement, like silence in music or dramatic suspension in dance. Movement is in action and in the waiting that looks like no action. In the unplanted seed, there lies hundreds of trees. Even in a body which is not moving, the mind can be flooded with movement of thought. Even in meditation, an inhalation occurs every minute, at least to me. And for all this, I understand movement as a third inner power, because it's part of life. It's inevitable, it's spontaneous, it's fierce, it is subtle, it's charged, it's graceful, it's fun and joyful, and it liberates clogged energy and emotion that we'd rather do without. So how do we use this incredible force of movement? And why? Why should we? Have you ever felt clogged? Have you ever felt numb or a part of you numb, inexplicably stuck? There are times when I sit in front of my computer and feel that I can't move my fingers, nothing to type, nothing flowing. Then I get up, leave the room, cook, come back. Maybe I type a line or two. Later, I go for a walk, and as my body moves, my ideas start to move. Or I do a soft yoga stretch. My body feels useful again, so alive. Muscles doing muscle work, tissue doing tissue things, organs being massaged internally, blood flowing more than just its regular flow, and my ideas get the spark of aliveness. Or sometimes nothing seems to feel right. So I dance. I pretend I'm a contemporary dancer and do all sorts of movements until I feel there's nothing left in me. When I feel there's nothing left, it's because there's nothing stuck anymore. There's no blockage left. And then creativity comes back. When the world feels confusing and life feels lost, it means I'm probably growing yet again, evolving, learning, and becoming the next stage of me. I am moving within myself. It's uncomfortable, but there's no need to be afraid of movement. Even so, we fear aging. We fear changing. We fear not being an identity we've become accustomed to. We fear the world moving in directions we say we don't like or approve. We don't like change. We don't like movement. But who could escape movement? What in this world can escape movement? You are moving every nanosecond of a second. Every atom is moving something. Even if the air we breathe has been around for billions of years, do you not feel it always moving in and out of you and everywhere? We cannot control cosmic movement, not in the universe, not in our own body. But we can learn to flow in movement, learn from it. And as a surfer who catches the wave by following what the wave does, we can embrace constant movement and become its dancing partner. How? Add movement to your life. And I don't mean just for your health. Of course, your body is made for movement, so it's extremely healthy to move. That way your body won't age prematurely. But add movement to your life for flexibility, both of your body and of your mind, and even your heart. Having a rigid mind or rigid heart is one of the biggest joy stealers. It'll make you into the person that finds faults in everything, dislikes everything, can't adapt to anything, controls, never bends, has less empathy, chooses being right above being compassionate, and well, it makes you joyless. And being joyless often leads to being alone and not even liking yourself. A rigid mind is restless. A rigid heart is brittle. Using movement to your advantage and joy could be choosing to listen and imagine a point of view opposite of yours and not trying to impose yours. Simply listening and imagining, seeing life and seeing the world from that other point of view. Movement is elasticity. Elasticity is adaptability. Adaptability can become contentment no matter what, joy no matter what, choosing life no matter what. Movement can be reading a book on a subject you've never considered interesting. Movement is, of course, moving your body to music that perhaps is not your first choice, or trying a class you've never taken before. Choosing movement instead of resisting it is a great exercise to surpass fear also. It allows you to expand your mindset, your identity, the lexicon of yourself. I first thought of movement as a great inner power when I faced resistance to swimming lessons. As a child, I was close to drowning in swimming pools more than once. So, although my school had an Olympic swimming pool, I never enjoyed swimming class. I learned the most basic stroke when I was 15, so very late. And after making sure I knew how not to drown, I stopped. Years later, during a moment that required me to strengthen my heart, mind, and courage, I decided to go back to the pool and discover something new, something that I would likely never discover because I never ever wanted to swim for real. So I took swimming lessons, which I did not enjoy. I was so annoyed and uncomfortable, but I endured until it wasn't uncomfortable anymore. Simply not my preference. And in the end, I became someone that could swim. Swim for a long time in a pool. A person that could endure a swimming lesson. I became a person whose legs and arms could handle swimming for at least an hour. A person who understood why some people love swimming and choose it as their sport. A person I wasn't before. It's funny because thanks to those lessons, I then, years later, got a job that required passing a swimming test. Change is movement. Movement is change. And movement can transform your body. When your body changes, your mind changes. When your mind expands, you'll be more willing to move your body. When your mind and body expand, your heart is stronger and bigger. Movement creates freedom in your own body. It channels emotion, unclogs, uplifts your mood, clears out thought fog. Movement is simply essential to being. Not moving, not allowing movement, well, blocks all the good stuff I just mentioned. And you certainly deserve the good stuff. So I wish you a week full of movement and dance. Thank you for listening, my friend. You are cosmic by nature. From my inner space to yours, AG out.